Hi, and welcome to the Delight Knits podcast, episode 23. Today is January 22nd of 2023. That's a lot of 20s. This is my podcast where I like to talk about all that I've been knitting on, and I actually have some yarn dyeing this week. And it's been 2 weeks since I podcasted last. I have a finished object. I've got some yarn that I dyed. I've got 3 whips. And that's pretty much it. So this one may be a little bit short. So, finished object. I was knitting on this pair of socks last week. And here they are finished. I actually brought my sock blockers out. Don't feel like I've done that in a while. But this is just a pair of vanilla socks. I knit these in about a week. I did not knit many pairs of socks in the last bit of 2022, and so I picked them back up this year. So these were 2x2 rib. Let me just put one down. 2x2 rib, knit 2, purl 2 for 20 rounds, cast on 64 stitches on a US 0.2 millimeter. 20 round cuff, 50 round leg, slip stitch, heel flap, and gusset because that fits me the best. And then I think it's 65 row foot and a toe. I randomly do my toes based on how much I need to decrease and when I need Skitchener, which you'll see on my next pair of socks. So this yarn is Barocco Comfort Sock. It's 100% acrylic yarn. And this is my 3rd pair of socks I've made with them. I haven't worn this specific pair yet, but I had 2 other pairs. And they go through the washer and dryer perfectly. I just throw them in with my normal laundry. So that's great. All of my superwash wool merino yarns, I do not throw in the washer with my normal laundry. I actually run those in their own cycle by themselves in a laundry mesh bag to make sure they don't get sucked up or anything. So that's my first finished object of the week, or of this 2 weeks podcast. Actually, my only finished object. So yeah, let's see. Let's start with the whip you've seen the most. So in my By the Bay Bag Co. I think this is the El Grande bag. Favorites. It needs a good wash. But I am knitting the long summer cardigan. I'm not going to go through all the details because I feel like I've said it so many times. I haven't made too much progress, but I do have a sleeve. So this, I was here last time, right? I'd just done the blue. I have finished all my decreases, and now I am just going. So, oh, you know what I didn't talk about was what I'm wearing. I am wearing, because it's a little chilly today, this is the Like a Cloud cardigan by Locatelli. I wear this quite often, and I love it. So this is knit in Ruby and Rose's yarn, driftwood colorway. I'm sitting right in the window because I like the natural light more than the overhead lighting. So this is driftwood on her soft rose and common ground on her mohair. So there's that, and it's all over textured cardigan. It goes down. It's got 4 pretty long cuffs. Pretty long. Yeah, but I love this cardigan. I definitely want more cardigans in my life, which is why I'm knitting this one. So this one is also by Locatelli. This one also Ruby and Rose's yarn. Although this one, I will have to come back and pick up a button band or just collar. This one I did not, and I like that. But this one I think I will need to. Or it's in the pattern, and I will. Yes. But I've finished all my decreases. I'm in another twisted rib section. And I also worked on the body a little bit. Let's see, just a little bit. I was in the middle of the stocking knit section, and I did the blue and gold little separator, and did one row of the twisted rib. Oh, on the body, it's twisted rib on, so you're knitting a right side and a wrong side. So you're doing a knit through the back loop on the right side, and then on the wrong side, you're doing a purl through the back loop, and that's just, it's slow. So I just haven't picked that up yet, and I will. But this, when you're doing the sleeves, you just knit in the round. You don't have any wrong sides, so maybe I'll finish the sleeve. I think last time I talked about maybe picking up for the other sleeve, and I have not done so yet. Probably will honestly wait until the other sleeve's done, because that's too much balls of yarn connected. So yeah, that is my long summer cardigan by Hoagie Locatelli. And I don't think I think I talked about it last time, and I'm not going to make it as long as the pattern. I don't see myself wearing it, and I think it'll get worn out by the butt, in the butt area and all that. So I like the length of this one. I may do it a little bit longer. That maybe, let me compare where these are at. So actually, oh, I'm a lot farther than I thought. So I may, let's see, where am I at? Pull this up here a little bit higher. I don't have that much longer. I may do one more whole repeat and then the ribbing. So I'm actually a lot closer to being done with this than I expected. I may kick my gear in a butt with it, because this has been on the needles since September. So yeah, there is that. You can find all the details on other, like yarn details and stuff, on other podcasts, or my project page may have all that on Ravelry. Well, as I always forget, and I always say sometime in the middle, I've got links and everything in the description box below. My Instagram, Ravelry, there's an email, just all that. My next whip is another pair of socks. So I have this big bag of scraps, or like little 10-gram minis that I dyed myself when I first got all of my yarn dyeing stuff 2 years ago. And I've decided that this year is going to be the year that I work through all of that. So like all your little 10-gram, 10, 20, 15 leftovers, whatever, I'm just going to split into 2 and knit pair of socks with them. Scrappy socks. It's going to be the year of scrappy socks for me. So this is my first pair of scrappy socks. So I have finished one. And the toe is funky on this one. But same thing. This one is a 2x2 rib for, I believe this one's 16 rounds, because I did it until I finished the mini on both sides. So I weighed it out and split it into 2 balls. Or if it's in a cake, I knit from either end and just go until they're like super close to connected, and I can just cut it, like hold them, knit them to even, and then hold it even and cut it. But so let's see, knit them both at the same time. So the first yarn is Mace of Skeins Fairy Dust, and then this is Mace of Skeins Ocean, from her summer collection, and that is left over from my Plumpy shawl. This is left over from my Toddler Flax Light Faded that I did, and that's the same thing that this is. This is the darker one is just a darker version of Ocean, by Mace of Skeins as well. So, and then this little purple stripe with the rainbow tweed is from my Musselburgh I just recently finished. And that is literally all that I had left after that Musselburgh. So I did great using up all that yarn. So yeah, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 balls of yarn out of that little bag. Maybe a little bag. I'll go grab that in a second. This yarn is Hedgehog Fibers birthday cake, and I knit this pair of socks a year ago because I remember taking this skein or working on the pair of socks that I knit out of this, the full pair, and I actually wore those this week. I knit those while I was in the hospital with my son when he was born. I thought it was funny they were named birthday cake, and it was his birthday. But so I knit 70 rows on the foot, so it's my normal 50 slip stitch, heel flap, and gusset, and then 70 rows. And then I put it on after my 70th row, and it was a lot longer than I had thought. I should have only done like 65 rows. So I kitchenered with 20 stitches on my needles. So it's a super wide toe. I mean, it still fits fine. It's not anything that I'm going to rip out and redo. But so I've got a half finished object and working on the other one. I believe I've got so I've got 7 rows and a toe, which won't take me long at all. And I've got quite a bit left of that yarn. So I will start my next pair of socks with this. Let me go grab my scraps that I'm going to go through with my socks and show you. It won't take but just a minute. Okay. So this is my bag of scraps that I will be using for socks this year. Because I want to work through my stash and make more room in my little thing that I keep all of my yarn in to be able to purchase more yarn, obviously. So I've got this mohair, this Surrey for my souffle. This is from a sweater. 2 sweaters, actually. I've got, oh boy, all of these that I've already caked up, and all of this. So most of these at the bottom are all minis that I dyed, like just testing out colors for different things. Like I knit a boxy out of color like that. I did, sorry for the glare, but I'm not taking it all out. Just random. That's what this all is, so. And leftovers from projects. So I'm going to knit all of these into lots of socks. We'll see how many socks I can get out of all this. It'll be interesting. Because it's great yarn. I mean, I can get quite a bit out of a pair of socks. I think like 60 grams is all it takes for me to knit a pair of socks. So I can get quite a bit out of this. And I wear my knitted socks pretty much every day. And so to be able to get wearable, usable socks out of this stuff that's just sitting there, I think I will greatly enjoy. And then I won't have to do laundry as often for my knitted socks. So I do have a pair. This is one of my very first pairs of knitted socks right here that I have my first hole in each of these. So this yarn, you can see right here in the bottom foot of the toe, this yarn is, there's another one, Ruby and Roses. This is chillaxing, something like that, sock set that I won my first giveaway with, my first and only giveaway, I think. And I didn't even have like my knitting centered Instagram at that point, like wasn't podcasting. I mean, this was probably 3-4 years ago, but my first hand dyed yarn, I'm pretty sure. Loved it. Don't remember what base. I know there's sparkle in it, but they are well worn, well used. This is a Fish Lips Kiss heel. I did a 3x1 ribbing on the entire sock. But yeah, Absolutely loved these. I still have the leftovers from it, so I'm gonna fix them. That's the nice thing about having these leftovers. But in all honesty, I have so many knitted socks, and I will obviously keep knitting socks because I love it. I would just throw them away if I didn't have it. I don't, like, this one's actually pretty bad. It'll be fun to figure out how to fix it. Yeah, that's a pretty decent hole there. I don't have the colorway for the toe anymore because I did knit 2 pairs of socks out of this. So yeah, I will try to fix these. If I'm not going to be sad if I don't. But I do wear my knitted socks quite often, every day. I sit in an office at work, so I'm not like putting hard wear and tear on them. There's that one. So I don't think it'll be too difficult. I will fix those. Just thought that'd be interesting to show. These socks are in my By the Bay Bag Co. mini bag. I don't know what size her size is. This size is called, that I got at DFW in September. My last whip is a new one in my Arkansas Yarn Crawl bag from last year, 22. And I am knitting another baby blanket for my nephew that is due in March, and I'm in the middle of a row, which we're just going to tink back and it'll be easy. So last time I think I talked about starting this blanket, and I was going to do the brioche baby blanket, which I did start, and I got about that far into it, and the brioche on the bigger needles that I'm used to and the worsted weight yarn just wasn't, the yarn needles and pattern were not a good match for me. I live in Arkansas. I don't knit worsted weight. I don't knit, I do have a couple of mohair stuff that I wear in the winter and stuff like that, but I knit with fingering weight yarn. That's a lot of what I use and pretty much all that I use. So the combination of the mohair, or of the yarn needles and pattern with the baby brioche blanket was not happening. And it didn't, so changed pattern. The original pattern I was thinking is like the mitered baby blanket or something like that by Purl Soho, and it was free. I tested it out on a washcloth and I wasn't a fan of that pattern, so I reverted to what I did for the other baby blanket, and that's a half and half wrap. But this one is, so I've got 2 colors, and you can see here how much I've done. I've done quite a bit. Let's see, I'm about right here underneath my lip and my nose. That's how far I've gotten with the wrap and turns. Quite a bit. This is how much I did last night while me and my husband were watching Jack Ryan. So yeah, I love the half and half triangles wrap pattern for these blankets. This one I have 2 balls of the Lion Brand Heartland. This is the Grand Canyon colorway. So I have 2 balls of this, and then I have 2 balls of the Redwood colorway. So instead of doing an all red and an all tan color, because this red is just so bright and in your face, I figured I'd break it up and just do stripes on both sides. And they should be going different directions, so I think that will look great. Yeah, I have till the beginning of March to finish this blanket, which should not be a problem. So there is that. Let's see, I don't think I talked about all my stitch markers. This one got seashells in it and sand. The lighting's not working well for it, and there's a glare. Maybe. There you go. Yeah, that is that project. And that's all I've been working on. I've got another project that as soon as I finish my socks, I will start. I bet you can guess what it's going to be. And I'm actually going to use this yarn that I dyed for it. So I tried to get some camo-like yarn, and there's dirt in it. And I think I did a fairly good job. So Monday the 16th here in in the United States, was Martin Luther King Day. And I had off. My kids' daycare was still open, and my husband, who is a tax accountant, works at a CPA firm, did not have off. So I got to spend the day, or at least the morning, at home, and I dyed yarn. And I'm pretty sure that's what I did, not last year, but the year before, as well as took the day by myself to dye yarn. Last year I had a baby 4 days before, or that week before, so that didn't happen. So let's open this up. Let's see, I dyed this. I'm trying to get some camo-like yarn. I am going to knit a hat. Can you guess what pattern? I'm gonna knit a Musselburgh. And so I want to, I think for somebody at my church, he had said something about he lost a hat that he loved so much. That was, I don't know if it was hand knit or something, but I think just surprise him with a new hat. I think he will enjoy that. If not, then we will wear it in this house. So I did 2 skeins to be able to possibly alternate colors, or alternate skeins if there's weird pooling. I have that option, or I can knit 2 hats, or we'll figure it out. But either way, I think they turned out great, and I can't wait to see what it'll look like knit up. Yeah, I think so. Life-wise, I don't usually talk about life because we have a pretty, I don't want to say boring, because just living with 2 kids is not boring, but a pretty scheduled, routined life. We get up, go to work, come home, fix dinner, go to bed, all that. I have gotten a little more knitting time in the evenings, which has been great. My husband took his CPA test on Thursday, so Friday, Saturday, and probably tonight we get to watch movies instead of him studying after the kids go to bed, which has been enjoyable. And we've been watching Jack Ryan, the 3rd season, on Amazon Prime. I think it's Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan is what it's called, and we both enjoy it. It's been a while since we watched the 1st and 2nd season, but we enjoyed those so much we just went ahead and jumped into the 3rd, so we can finish them hopefully before he has to go back to studying on Monday for the next part. Work has been fairly busy. My work schedule is like we have busy times, and then I have busy times, and then I have non-busy times. I work at a university in the business office, and my job does not get busier or slow down when the students aren't in class. It's all based on the timings of like when we get our statements and when the quarters end and the fiscal year end. And so like, I'll try and get this back together. The end of May and June and July are pretty much my busiest time of year, because I'm trying to get the financial statements ready. And I'm also teaching 2 classes online for a different university within the same town that I work in Arkadelphia, Arkansas. I mean, look it up. And so I'm teaching 2 classes that started this last week, so that adds to my work time as well. So it's just been busy. Yeah, I guess that's about it. hopefully my husband has gotten my son down for a nap. Hopefully my daughter is either falling asleep while she's been watching her movie. She has been all about Phineas and Ferb, if you're curious what she's watching. Phineas and Ferb Spider-Man, Phineas and Ferb, I think they have a Star Wars version, all on Disney Plus. We just stay on Disney Plus with her. So I hope everybody has had a great week, a great first month of the new year, as it's almost getting close. Got a week left. So yeah, if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below. I'll try to answer them. I'm sure you don't. Maybe I'll update you on these holes in these socks. Maybe I'll get those done today. We'll see. I will talk to y'all maybe in another couple weeks. Have a great day. Bye.